So I get asked a lot, what's the best way for new artists to sell their work? And you might be surprised, I don't think it's Etsy or Shopify or online in general. So what is it? Trying to finish up this 1,000 pieces in 30 days challenge. Got another kiln going, just unloaded one, about to do a show. And that's exactly the best way that I have found for new artists to sell their work is in person. Specifically, it's at smaller events typically called pop-ups. And that's what I'm doing tonight. There is like a little art market at the Music in the Park here in town, and it's a Thursday night. It's gonna be from 4 to 8 that we set up. And so yeah, let's go along. While I'm packing up, let's go over some of those reasons why I think new artists should sell in person, and specifically why I think it's the best way. But yeah, so there's a lot of reasons. I'm gonna go over what I've seen from what I've done, and then just tips as well for making your first few attempts at selling successful, because we don't want you to burn out. So let's get started to pack. All right, so I gotta finish packing up here, but one of the biggest reasons why I think you should be selling in person is because you need some in-person criticism. That seems kind of crazy, but you need to hear what people think about your work, because you might be thinking people love this design you're working on, but then they don't really like it. And so then you've just spent a bunch of time creating something people are never gonna buy. I have some glaze combos. This one kind of messed up, but I have some glaze combos that people just don't like, that I think are awesome. That's why I make things in small batches when they're new, so I can take them to markets and try them out. Now, don't just judge it off of one market, because things always sell differently, but it's good to hear what people think and ask people. Like, if you're new, just tell people, hey, yeah, any advice? If you see other artists, be like, hey, any advice? Okay. Small pop-ups are great because you don't need to take as much. When I'm doing 3-day shows, I have to take so much more stuff. My display tonight is going to be a lot smaller than it typically would be. And so that's the advantage of it. If you're starting out, the barrier to entry is super low. Like, your display doesn't have to be as nice. It doesn't matter what you're selling, just make sure you have a good representation of your work. I'm not gonna bring all this stuff. I'm gonna bring probably 3 of these berry bowls, and I probably will only have 2 set out. And don't feel like you need to travel very far. If you're doing a pop-up and you're new, stick to your local market. And also, I would say don't drive more than an hour away, because you want to be able to get the feel for what's around, but you also want to let people know that you exist, and that maybe you'll get some new clients who live in your local area. So it pays to just keep it close in the beginning. This shelf folds flat. I got this at the thrift store for like $3. So just always be on the lookout, because you can find really awesome stuff for really cheap that will make your display look better without having to spend a bunch of money. But these tips are not just for potters. These are for all artists or anybody that makes anything handmade. I've been to a lot of shows over the years, and so this will help all of you. The other thing that's awesome about these pop-ups is they're usually free or really cheap. Some of the 2 and 3 day shows that I do can be anywhere from $300 to $600 to be a part of. So before you spend all that money, do your research. Go out and sell at these free shows, so that by the time you're ready to go to these other shows, you're gonna be successful and actually sell stuff, instead of being like, man, am I even gonna cover my booth fee? So take advantage of these. They should be really cheap. Sometimes it's as easy as setting up at a coffee shop and saying, hey, what's a busy day for you? On Saturday, would it be cool if I came over here and set up my stuff? A lot of coffee shops really like it. I'm gonna load the van up and head over to where I'm gonna be set up tonight. I'll kind of show you how I set up, and then we can talk about displays, and then later on we're gonna carry on talking about some other tips, and really the main reason why I feel like this is so important. So don't go anywhere, but let's change locations. Okay, so this event is in a park. The town puts it on, and there's already a free concert. So what's great about this event is people are already gonna be there. I mean, there's probably about 1,000 people that show up to this every Thursday night. So you know you've already got people. So look for stuff like that, where there's already gonna be people showing up. Which is what I meant earlier when I said, go to a coffee shop. People are already gonna be there. Look at this little wagon. Now this wagon is great. It It really helps me as I'm going from my car to wherever I'm setting up. Most of the time, you can't just pull up to the door or to the space that you're setting up. So having one of these little fold flat wagons is awesome. And we also carry that theme into the way I do my displays. This video isn't really about that, but I try to make everything be able to fold flat and store really well. If you want to see more of that, I do have a video that goes a little bit more in depth on art shows, and I'm also working on a tutorial on how to make some of these things. So just comment what you feel like I haven't made, and I'll get some more of that content for you. Okay, how are you gonna get paid? This is kind of another technical thing, but Square is a very easy way. They'll send you a free card reader. Also, just print out your Venmo, like the QR code, and just tape that to your counter or whatever. People can just scan that or just have it printed on a card that you can show people. Either way, that's a super easy way to take payment from people. Make sure you can take payment. But this video just isn't how to do this, it's why new artists should do this. There's so many opportunities at a pop-up to just get your feet wet. And the biggest thing that you need is confidence, because you just need to have confidence when you're selling that your work is good. So get out there and sell the stuff, setting up and being like, hey, here's my things, make a couple sales, but don't be discouraged either. Don't judge your beginning to somebody else's middle or their fourth year or whatever. If you're new at this, treat it like you're new at this, but you got to get going. This will help you so much to just go to a pop-up and sell things, and then you'll get the ball rolling. You know, when I first started, I would be happy if I sold like $200. Now, my numbers are a little bit higher. So this event happened in town. You know, they did it a month earlier, and my goal was $400. So I was like, if I sell $400, I'll be happy. It's the first time they're doing this. We'll see what happens. Well, I sold just over 600, and I was like, great, that was awesome. It was a little bit slower, but you know, that was probably what I expect for these events, about $600. And I'm like, that was awesome, actually. This next one, the concert was a little bit bigger. They had more people come up from Denver, which is a little further away. So I sold a little over $1,000, which is crazy to me. You know, you think about that, you're like, okay, I set up, boom. So even if you aren't a new artist, pop-ups can still be a really good way for you to make money. And they're quick and easy. So you might be able to do like 3 or 4 pop-ups in a week. Now, if I did 4 pop-ups in a week and they all did $1,000, I would be pumped. Ba-da-da-da. If you're doing an outside show, just be prepared. Weather can be a thing. I mean, check this out. I set up in the sun. It was super nice. Then this storm came rolling through. I mean, look at these tents just getting wrecked by the wind. This is another reason why I talk about needing really strong weights in my art show video. But if you're new, like this event, they provide the tent. So that's like a barrier to entry that's just crushed right there. They provide the tent for you. I have my own tent, but I still use their tents because why set something up that I don't have to? So like I said, check out my other video. I can show you the weights I use and they are awesome, but always bring more weights than you think you need. I weigh down everything. New or small artists also, this is a great chance for you to get your name out there, so you need to have some sort of business card. I just print these things on cardstock. Cardstock is cheap. Order it off Amazon. Print your own business cards. It's so nice. I gotta see if the camera's recording, because last time I didn't record this, and I think I might not have pressed record. Okay, we're good. Don't overthink the business cards. Just print something on cardstock. You can get the brown cardstock if you want. It looks a little bit more nice, whatever. But just do a small run of business cards. Print 50 of them off. That's just a couple pages of paper, or 100. I mean, honestly, I can fit like 20 of them on a sheet of paper. But that way, if you want to change anything on your business card, then you can for the next event. You might be like, oh, you know what? People don't care about X or whatever. Not Twitter, but I was just using X, like the old algebra. Anyways, you might not have an online store yet, and so you don't have it listed on there. But speaking of online stores, a lot of people think the best place for new artists to start is an online shop. I mentioned it earlier. I don't think that's the best place. It should probably be the first because it's super easy to just list stuff on Etsy, but it's not going to help you at all. I mean, if you're brand new, your sales on Etsy or something like that are probably not going to be very good. Being in person is so much better than online because you get to see people and you get to see their reaction to your work. That's what you need. You need to see, oh, people like this, they don't like this. What do people pick up? What do people look at? Just take notes on all these things, and that'll help shift where you need to go. Let's see. Oh yeah, make friends. Like I said, if you're new to this, there's gonna be people around you. Look at them, see what they're doing, talk to them, ask them questions. Say, hey, why'd you do that? Why'd you do this? One of the things I did at this show that new artists might consider is I made these logo mugs that say Winter Park on them. Winter Park's a tourist town. It's where I live. We had people from all over. We have people who have vacation homes here. We have people who are just up for the weekend from Denver. We have people who were from out of the country and out of the state. And all those people bought them. I sold out of this event. I only had 8 of them, and I sold all of them, which was awesome. But do something like that. Experiment with doing branding for the area you're in. You know, what is the clientele around you? What are they interested in? See if you can make things people want to buy. That's the goal, right? Another thing that's going to help you if you're new to this is bring a friend. It's so nice to have somebody helping you set up and tear down, especially if it's your first time. They're going to give you like their thoughts maybe on, oh wait, maybe we should do this, maybe we should do that. So bring a friend. If there's not a lot of people there, you'll have somebody to talk to. Each time I did these pop-ups, I had people come and hang out with me, and it just made the event more fun because I'm just there hanging out with my friends and people come by. And it's also less threatening to walk up to 2 people who are kind of talking to each other versus one person who's just staring at you walk into the booth. Now, I don't think you should ignore people that come in. You can, say something to them, but sometimes it can be kind of threatening to just like stare at somebody while they're looking at your stuff. So sometimes you need to give people space, but I digress. Sometimes you'll do a pop-up and there'll just be a table there. They'll say, hey, we'll have a table set up. You can just come and set your stuff on it. Whatever you do, please don't just put a bunch of stuff on a table. Make sure you always have a tablecloth. I use this black tablecloth. I go vertical. I have displays built that are vertical. It just makes things easier for the eye to look at, and it's not too cluttered. You can kind of see some of the stuff that I have. You can also just set little blocks of wood on the table if you have something like pottery to give it tiers and separate it from places. And if you don't have any of that, just get some cardboard boxes and put them underneath your tablecloth, and all of a sudden you've got tiers. There's really no excuse. I mean, you can get some duct tape and some cardboard and make a crazy looking display. Maybe add a little spray paint to it. I don't know. You do you, but find ways to make it not just a flat display. You'll do more sales. But don't wait till everything's perfect. There's a saying that I love, and it's done is better than perfect. Embrace that mentality. Just do it. Just do the thing. Go after this. If you want to be a serious artist, you're going to have to make a living. So you're going to have to sell stuff. That's why I think this is the best way. You got to get out there in person. Don't overthink it. Just do it. And pop-ups are great because you're gonna make mistakes. And so it's better to make mistakes at a free event than a $400 event that's lasting multiple days. So just do it and see what happens. Learn from your mistakes and move on to the next. It'll be awesome. Either way, we're building confidence. That's the best way to sell stuff, is being confident about your work and saying, yeah, I made this. It's awesome. You don't have to do it like that, but you know what I mean. There's a little bit of arrogance that needs to happen, and sometimes if you've never sold anything, you have no confidence because you don't think people actually want it. Selling in person will help you so much. So just embrace the awkwardness and overcome that hurdle. It'll be worth it. All right, so I hope this has been encouraging for you. Really, the point of this video is I just want people to get out there and start selling. The world needs your work. You're creating art that people need to be able to enjoy in their everyday life. So if you're a new creator, just find a pop-up, set up outside of the grocery store. I don't know, do anything to get your work to the world and start getting your confidence up so you can sell more. If you want more info on a bigger art show, check out this video here. It might answer some of your other questions. If not, check this one out over here, and peace out. Thanks.